For the Goodfellas team, we have Absolution, Astarte, Damnation, Guardian, Retribution, Wolf, and Enyo. For the Tormentum team, I'm looking at Nighthawk, Tengu, Rook, Lachesis, Cormorant, Mollis, and Stiletto. Just kind of waiting to see what's going on here in terms of movement. We've got some pretty fast movers on the field, lots of micro warp drives, both of those Tengu hitting well over 1,000 meters a second. What I'm not seeing yet is a whole lot of DPS from the Goodfellas. They are, however, receiving quite a bit to both of their wolves into armor. Meanwhile, the Enyo still untouched, the Guardian clearly trying to keep things repped up and alive. Don't know how successful he's being. I see quite a few warp disruptors. I see quite a bit of missile spammage coming from the Tormentum team. Wolf's still kicking alive, though. Low armor for Red Thunder as he bleeds a little bit into structure. Tuzuku-1 in a Wolf, also still holding an armor. Red Thunder hitting low structure and popped. First blood has been shed, with the Tormentum team killing one of the Goodfellas Wolves. Meanwhile, they seem to be receiving a little bit of shield damage to their Stiletto and to their Lachesis at the same time. I see a couple of smart bombs going off. Not entirely sure what's going on there. Let me see if I can get a look on this Wolf, see what's happening there. Let's see, Wolf is motoring as usual. It looks like the Goodfellas have finally gotten smart and are going after the small ships, particularly the Mollis right now, and the Stiletto. Still not seeing a whole lot of DPS, though, out of those Absolutions, which is a shame. And Tormentum loses their Stiletto. Meanwhile, their Mollis holding at about 2/3 armor, a little bit of shield damage to their Cormorant and their Lachesis. Looks like Tormentum is focusing most of their fire right now on the Retribution for the Goodfellas team. One of the Retributions, Bad Boy Geezer, dropping down to about half armor. I'd like to see what kind of drones these guys are flying. Don't know if some of my other commentators can send me a message on that. Bobby Geezer hitting low armor. Looks like he might come back, though, if Hey You from Goodfellas can get a lock on him and get him repped up. Meanwhile, the Cormorants on both Cormorants, the Pole and Kaiser for the Tormentum Alliance, hitting armor. Clearly, they're not receiving any shield reps right now. I don't even see drones on them. I'm sorry for not having a whole lot of help on this one, guys. Doing the best I can. Looks like there are some Hornet ECMs out there, quite a few of them. And some Warriors for the Tormentum side. Goodfellas obviously going with the ECM drones. Tormentum losing their first Cormorant. The Pole, their other Cormorant, also hitting armor. Looks like we've got some armor damage going on to the Hey You, the Guardian pilot for Goodfellas. So let's see, what else do we have going on the field? Still not a lot of DPS supplied from Goodfellas, although I did just hear someone chiming up on the audio here.
Yeah, no, I should be with you again after some audio glitching.
Well, it looks like Hey You still holding at about 70% armor, repping himself back up, it looks like. Taking heavy fire. Yeah, taking heavy fire.
He's in a little bit of trouble now, sorry. With going the entire match with one or the other has taken its toll on our ability to coordinate here. The damage is still being spread out quite a bit here. Hey You still hanging on, and obviously he's, they've decided, I think, that he's kind of the linchpin holding the whole thing together, which is a pretty smart assumption about a Guardian most of the time.
So just to quickly roll over the teams here, Goodfellas still Abso, Astarte, Damnation, Guardian, Retribution, one Wolf down, one Wolf alive, Enyo alive. The Tormentum team, 2 Nighthawks, 2 Tengus, a Rook still alive, and a Lachesis in about half armor.
Yeah, and then there's it's kind of interesting to see the divide here on the type of ships chosen. The Lachesis is an interesting choice, obviously different, and the one he's
Still doing pretty well. Hey You, their Guardian pilot, sitting at about half armor, repping up. Looks like he can handle whatever damage is being thrown at him.
Yeah, no, hanging in there right now. Like you said, Hey You, though, he looks like he may be dropping a little bit of armor now. And every time it drops down, he pulls right back together. If they can't break him, then they're seriously going to have some trouble pulling away with this match. As we see the Rook of, is that Belfalas? Is that what that says? One of those Rooks now taking quite a bit of damage for...
And it looks like Corvin's still having some issues. The Rook is still holding up 30% shields. I am receiving word that one of the Tengus was destroyed, no, not one of the Tengus. Tregasso, I don't know what he was flying, is now in a pod. I think that might have been the Lasich's pilot, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I saw
Meanwhile,
that in local. Was trying to match that up with ships, but wasn't able to do it because I was trying to mess with my audio still, unfortunately. So yeah, that Tormentum Rook now in armor, so we'll see. Oh no, apparently it was a Maulus pilot. We're getting that from Kill 2. The motor Maulus was destroyed for motoring too far from the center of the arena. Now that Rook for Tormentum, he's taking armor damage, but taking it rather slowly.
Yeah, clearly motoring can be dangerous even in a big arena like this. You know, can't motor too much. So, Hey You still holding on about 20%, 30% armor, repping himself back up little by little. Based on the DPS I'm seeing, what do you think, Corvin? Do you think that either team has a decided victory yet?
Not really. Now, once this Rook goes down, that may change. But at this point, I think it's fair to say that now that we have lost that Rook, so that's obviously going to be a big hit to Tormentum. We may be able to see some more damage let loose from Goodfellas onto their remaining ships.
Well, they still have a lot of DPS for Tormentum. Those Tengus can put out a pretty good amount of volley damage, and the Nighthawk, known for not only its tanking ability, but also its DPS. The Hey You Guardian for Goodfellas, believe it or not, still kicking around, 20% armor, slowly bleeding into structure though, so he might actually go down here. Not sure if that's going to happen. Come on, guys, can you do it? That could be the change of the guard here for the Goodfellas if they lose that Guardian.
It's going to be tough, though. I mean, they've still got, it looks like, 3-4 command ships still floating to Absolution's Damnation and the Astarte. Those ships are no slouches when it comes to buffer tank or local tanking, depending on how they're fit. And now that we say that Guardian's still just hanging at the edge of 0 armor.
Interesting enough for the Tormentum Alliance, Ingor Torbu in one of the Tengus has gotten himself webbed and scrambled and neutralized by the assault frigates and is actually taking a lot of damage. He is about to bleed into armor, and there he goes, bleeding into armor, and he looks like he might drop. Low armor, we're about to bleed into structure, and he's down. Tengu is down. At the same exact time, we lose the Guardian, Hey You, for the Goodfellas. This is still anyone's match at this point. That Guardian was a linchpin.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that Tengu going down, that's going to hurt as well. Went down a little bit faster than I was expecting, to be honest. But with the Guardian down, though, like I said, these command ships are going to be able to hold their own. We now see the Astarte taking about 50% of his shield damage. Other than that, not a lot going on. The ships are kind of circling each other at this point. Obviously, these command ships mostly going to be a little bit closer range setups.
Well, and that could be the factor here. The assault frigates for the Goodfellas motoring into range of the next Tengu, it looks like, at maximum speed. But the Astarte already taking some armor damage. It looks like Goodfellas are going to have a lot of ground to cover before they can get into their close range optimals to really, put the DPS on that Tengu.
And actually, it looks like I was mistaken. That Astarte appears to have railguns. So maybe I was mistaken about the close range setup. He's now down to about 50% armor. Not a lot of other damage flying around for anyone at the moment. Now, if that Astarte goes, then Goodfellas is going to may have a problem on their hands when it comes to bringing down that second Tengu.
Yeah, the Astarte is repping himself up a little bit, but the last Tengu for the Tormentum team still holding, so they've got Tengu and 2 Nighthawks still alive, while Goodfellas is still fielding 2 Absolutions, an Astarte in low armor, a Damnation, and 4 Assault Frigates, 2 Retributions, Wolf, and Enyo.
Yeah, now we see that the Tengu now is starting to take, he's approaching about 60% shields at this point, so at this point it's a DPS race right now. It's going to be whether that Astarte or that Tengu can hold out longer. If that Tengu goes down and the Astarte is able to recover, then I don't like Tormentum's chances. So we'll see. That Astarte now hovering at about 10% armor.
I don't think it's going to matter. The Tengu is heavily tackled, receiving newts and nos from the assault frigates, and is already down to 20% shield. As we know, Caldari ships not known for their armor or hull tanking abilities. I think as soon as he bleeds, he'll be down. But that Astarte is actually bleeding into structure, so we could lose both simultaneously like we did with the Guardian and the Tengu last time.
Yeah, quite possibly. And you said Caldari not known for their shield or hull, or for their armor or hull tanking, but they are occasionally known for their hero tanking, particularly on Nighthawks. So we'll see what happens there, as we have lost
Tengu
the
down.
second Tengu. And the Astarte is not far behind. He is at about 15% hull right now. The honor tank, though, holding strong at this point, and now we have lost that Astarte. So you've got 2 Nighthawks up against 2 Absolutions, a Damnation, the Ishkur, the Wolf, and 2 Retributions.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of hope left for the Tormentum team. They're already taking some pretty heavy shield damage on Photo Cruz's Nighthawk. But at the same time, they are starting to hit back at the Gods team, although the Nighthawk has just been tackled by the Enyo. Let me get a closer look, see what's going on.
You know, we do see that first Absolution taking some armor damage. However, the first Nighthawk for Tormentum is almost out of shields. And once he's out of shields, as we've seen, he's likely not long for this world.
No, he's going down very, very quickly. Shields are gone, bleeding into armor. Mostly damage from the assault frigates right now, although it looks like those Absos are able to change range or change ammo and get into range already. Low armor, bleeding into structure, Nighthawk is going down. That seals it. Even with Justice for Hungry in the Goodfellas Alliance at 75% armor, it's over with for Tormentum.
Yeah, we have, who is it? It's Lee Jarrett in the remaining Nighthawk. He's about to have most of the Goodfellas team bearing down on him, and we'll see how long he can hold out against the pretty high damage of two Absolutions, as well as the smattering of other ships that are still up there.
Quite frankly, if I was Lee right now, what I would be doing is pulling all of my damage and doing a single volley of my grouped missiles onto some of those assault frigs and seeing if I could volley them into oblivion. At least hurt them where it counts on the points. Why he continues to go after that Absolution, which is clearly going to be able to keep tanking him, is beyond me. Especially when he's got all 4 of those assault frigates using micro warp drives, which really boost their signature radius to give the full effect of his precision heavies.
Yeah, and it looks like at the moment he's not taking a lot of damage. He's managing to hold range on the heavier hitters of Goodfellas. We'll see how long he's able to keep that up. He's only moving at about 200 meters per second, make that 175, whereas those assault frigs, as you said, they'll be down on him in just a few seconds now, and that should be the end of that.
He needs to volley him quick. Oh, they're already getting into range. In any minute, that scrambler is going to go off. And once he's webbed and scrambled, that's it. That's game over. And there it is. Yep. There's the web effect. He is going to go down pretty quick now. He can't move anywhere, and his speed is already dropping as we speak. Neutralizers applied.
Yeah, it looks like they're just waiting for those Absolutions to pull into range to finish him off here, which shouldn't take very long here. However, we only have, I'm seeing the 1 minute warning in local, so they need to work quickly.
Very quickly, and it looks like Lee has taken my advice, is trying to shoot this God's Wolf. I don't think he'll be able to do it in time, though, especially not now that it's orbiting at close range. The Wolf holding at about 90% armor. Meanwhile, Lee in the Nighthawk dropping to 50% shields. This is game over. I think they're going to make it before the minute mark.
No, we just got the stop call, so the Nighthawk makes it through. I think this is the first match that we've had. This is the first match we've had called on time. So Tormentum, Goodfellas does take the match, but does not get the total victory that every other winner has enjoyed so far today. So Goodfellas win. Back to you, Soundwave.